Hello. First Tonight claims that a charity is thousands of pounds out of pocket because of the postal strikes.
3,500 workers in this region have been taking industrial action today after the union failed to reach an agreement with Royal Mail. There'll be more strikes tomorrow and on Saturday. We'll hear from the Alzheimer's Research Trust in just a moment. But first, this report from our chief reporter, Kim Riley.
In the heart of Ipswich, not just one picket line, but two. Striking postal workers on one side of the road, staff of a local financial services company on the other.
What do we want? Our post! When do we want it? Now!
Supporters of the postal workers not impressed.
You and not the post workers are playing up to the cameras. That is a disgraceful counter-protest against the workers.
I'm sorry you feel that way. What I'm hoping is that the guys here on the picket line that have seen this would actually take it away and have a think about what they're doing. They've got issues with management. Fine. Use the press. Get your message out there. Don't hurt your customers.
Sammy Nesnas runs a fancy dress shop at Westcliff-on-Sea. Halloween is big business this time of year. The postal strike has hit his orders.
It's the lead up to Halloween. It's the busiest time of year for us. And this time of year we're posting out 200, 300 parcels a day with all the costumes and that. And since the postal strike was announced on Thursday, internet sales just took a total dip.
But not all businesses are suffering. Private courier firms like Action Express in Northamptonshire, part of the APC network, are doing very well.
We are seeing a fantastic increase in business. In Northamptonshire alone, we have seen 50% increase of customers sending freight from ourselves into the APC network.
This huge warehouse at Raunds in Northamptonshire is one of a number of temporary sorting offices hired by Royal Mail. It insists thousands of temporary staff it's taken on are not strike breakers, but part of a normal intake in the build-up to Christmas. The Communication Workers Union says the strikes are hitting postal workers hard. They're losing about £55 to £65 a day. But it says it's a sacrifice needed to safeguard the business in the long term.
What I would say to Royal Mail is come back around the table with us now as quickly as possible. Have a look at our proposals and what we've done. Form an agreement with us in a form of words, and whatever shape that takes, we can bring an end to this industrial action and we can get things back on an even keel for the good of the business, for the good of the public at large and for the good of our membership.
About 3,500 staff have been on strike today in the eastern region. Many thousands more will be out from 9 p.m. on Friday, hitting both collections and deliveries. Kim Riley, BBC Look East.
Well, let's see what all of this means for charities. Rebecca Wood is from the Alzheimer's Research Trust, based in Cambridgeshire. How much is this costing you so far, do you think?
Well, we reckon about £50,000, which is obviously a serious worry. That's thousands of hours of research, and the Alzheimer's Research Trust is really worried about the effect of that.
But if that money isn't delivered to you, surely it's going to come in when the strike is over or when there's a lull in the activity of the union?
Well, we're worried because actually we think people have lost confidence, so that may be true. Maybe more people will put the money in the post. But what we're worried about is that people may forget to do that if they don't act straight away, or that they're throwing mail out because they're getting huge stacks all at once because of the backlog. So it's a real worry as to whether that money is ever going to come to the Alzheimer's Research Trust.
How do you arrive at that figure of 50,000?
Well, we've looked at what happened before the strike, what normally happens for us at this time of year, and actually before that our income was up. People really understand how desperately research is needed and they want to see that being done. But unfortunately, as soon as the strike started, that has tailed off drastically.
So you don't think it's recession-linked?
No, absolutely not, no. And we've got people still donating through our website and through the phone. We hope that people will use those alternative methods. But most of our supporters like to donate by post, so it is a really drastic time for us, and we're really quite worried.
And so if you don't get this money, your research stops?
We've got, obviously, we need more money as we go on through the year, but it will make a drastic difference to how much we can fund. And actually, we've been hoping to fund a lot more this year. So we're desperate to see a resolution to the conflict, and so that we can actually get back on target. And we'd ask people to please do put your money in the post. Those who do, it is reaching us. So we hope we can reassure people on that.
Rebecca Wood, thank you very much.
Next, the continuing crisis surrounding student loans. More than a month into the academic year, hundreds of students in this region have still not received any payments. Many have been forced to take out emergency loans, and some may even have to give up their studies.
Take a seat. Thank you.
Yet another appointment with student welfare for Kerry Rolls. Her student loan still hasn't come through, and she's got a mortgage to pay and 2 children to support.
I've called them numerous times. You wait on the phone for about 40 minutes, and when they eventually pick up, I think the majority of them are rude.
And Kerry's not the only one. Weeks into term, hundreds of students still haven't had their payments.
Some students on the verge of withdrawing. Just saw a student this week that is, in tears because she just doesn't know what to do. Her money hasn't come through yet. She's working 2 part-time jobs to keep herself afloat.
To help students like Kerry, university welfare departments have had to step in. So far this academic year, across the East, more than £100,000 in emergency payments has been handed out. At the University of Essex, 22 hardship loans have been made, compared with just 12 last year. At the University of Bedfordshire, the number of students needing emergency payments has more than quadrupled. Ian Marshall's head of welfare. He says one mature student can't afford childcare.
She also needs money for food, she needs money for housing and everything else. So she's in that dilemma where she has got now, as far as I can see, no option but to put everything back 12 months, which is a huge disappointment for her.
The student loans company says it's very sorry some students have experienced difficulties. A spokesman said it's working flat out to process all valid applications. But it might be too late for Kerry. If her money doesn't come through soon, she'll have to give up her course and her dreams of becoming a barrister. Gareth George, BBC Look East.
Well, still to come in Look East, what you had to say about the criminal justice system after our programme last night from the Crown Court.
We find out why hundreds of fans will queue up for hours for Jordan, and we meet one of the region's 2012 hopes with a hidden talent.
Hi, I'm William Sharman, an international athlete from Corby, but today I'm doing something very different. I'm playing on this fabulous piano at Rockingham Castle. Find out more after the rest of the news.